What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your hosts, Klew and MB. MB's in the building, y'all.
MB.
You here? We also got the coach of Sideline to Baseline, them fighting Gamecocks in the building. Jacksonville State's own Coach Morton. What's going on?
Klew, Mike, how you guys doing?
What's up, Jake the Snake?
Doing well, brother. Doing well, man. It's been a good week.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, baby.
Hey,
What's
man,
going on in your neck of the woods? Are you guys? Let's hit on you guys a little bit. Spotlight. You guys done with bringing who you're gonna bring in for next year? Are you guys? You figured all that out? You signed and all that? Or how does it work?
You know, Klew, this has been a really, I'm gonna say, fascinating, interesting, crazy year dealing with COVID and dealing with the, we've had to, not just our school, not just our program, but every school in the country. I mean, you have to sign kids without seeing them, sign kids without them seeing your campus. There's been no in-person or off-campus contacts throughout athletics due to COVID.
So, man.
Oh yeah, it's like we can't have any visits, and we can't visit them. They can't visit us. So we've had to sign. I mean, for the last year, we've had to sign guys that have not visited the school, and we haven't visited them. We haven't even seen them live. So it's been tough. It's been challenging, but there's something called the portal. I know you guys might have heard this thing.
Yes, sir.
Portal, yeah. And it's
yes, sir.
Yeah, it's getting crazy in there, but that's kind of where you work out, that portal. You're trying to get these kids that are transferring, and obviously a lot of them you know about because they played other Division I schools, other programs. So you know them, you're familiar with them, and you can see them. You can kind of look them up online and watch their videos and watch their games. So that's recruiting is taking a whole different deal now than it's been in the last year or so.
Wow. Hey, Jay, what percentage of the kids you think, because of the portal, schools are now saying, you know what, I'd rather go ahead and get a portal kid than get a high school kid? I know it's all based on talent, but that portal thing is kind of changing the game, especially when you say you can't go see the high school kid. Yep. I will lean more to signing the college kid who I know more about,
Well, the thing I tell all our guys, all these recruits that I talk to, especially high school kids, if you get an offer early, in the early signing period, it's a good offer, you better take it, because come later, you're gonna have a lot of competition, because there's gonna be 1,000 kids from other Division I schools that are transferring that we can go get. That's gonna that could be more of an impact coming through the door than you as a high school kid.
Yeah.
We talk about the whole home front. Alma Mater, Miami took that quarterback out of the portal.
Yeah.
The kid Jalen Hurts was in the portal. I mean, you can get like a ready-made player that's played 2 or 3 years at another university, and he can come into your university and play right away. That's definitely much more valuable than a high school kid who could be a good player down the road, but there's a lot of guesswork with how good he's going to be and how fast he's going to be good.
Yeah, no doubt. I totally agree with that. And then one more thing, we was talking about this. We didn't know the rule. I know the NC2A extended, like if you're a senior, you can come back an extra year, right? Mm-hmm. By doing that, did they increase the number of guys that you can have on scholarship on your team, or
absolutely
to compensate for that? They did do that.
Yep. Okay. But it's a school thing with it. Yep, Mike, you raised a great point. It's a school thing. So let's give you an easy example, right? You can have in men's basketball, you have 13 players on scholarship. And let's just say, for example, on that team, you have 4 seniors, right? You can actually sign 4 kids. So you can actually, instead of having 13, you can get to 17. You can still find 4, but it's a school thing. If your school allows you to do it. The NCAA said you can do it, but every school might not have the money to sign, 17 guys. So it's a school thing if you can do it. That's kind of how it works, because you can bring everybody back. And then what happens is those 4 kids that you have on scholarship they go towards your next class. And so like in our case, we've done that. So right now, the way it looks, actually, we might have 1 kid, because we took a kid who was a grad transfer 1 year. We will only have 1 scholarship next year, because that kid's going to be the only senior that will leave, because we already filled the scholarships already for those seniors that are here. Yeah.
Wow. And then you mentioned about the transfer portal. Like right now, if kids can go in there without getting penalized, I mean, they allow them transfer. Does it change your coaching style? Because now the kid can just leave when he wants to, or how do you handle that?
Mike, think about this. Think about when you played using college. If you went to transfer, I mean, obviously you didn't transfer. We didn't transfer. We stuck it out. See, it's a whole different era. That's a whole other story. I mean,
exactly.
kids are
That's a whole separate show, huh?
Mike,
exactly. Yeah, we were talking. Me and K. Lou talked about that before.
Hey, Mike,
it was,
think about this, Mike. We went to school when you was a freshman. And who you gonna cry to, man? You better suck it up and get back out there. But
I wanted to transfer. I wanted to leave. Got red shirt and wanted to leave.
Exactly. So nowadays, kids can just jump at that point. But the difference is, but back in the day, you would have to go through a process. Right. You have to go to the compliance person, get the coach's permission. You have to. Now you don't have to do that. All the kid has to do is go online and punt and click. I'm transferring. You don't have to tell the coaches. Don't have to tell it. We check it to make sure our guys aren't in there.
Hey, Coach, it's click the button and send a tweet, baby. It's been real.
Mike,
these 4 years have been amazing.
No, K-Lou, not 4 years. These 4 weeks has been amazing.
Hey, K-Lou, you say that playing around, but that's a reality for a lot of college coaches. They're finding out their kids are leaving via tweets. So they don't have to talk to you anymore. They can just go online and go onto the website and do it. I mean, it's a crazy deal right now.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, do they have to? Now they can. I know they don't have to sit out a year, but can they transfer? Like, say, during the season, once they transfer, they can't play, right?
You can't be a mid-season. Like, if you transfer mid-season, you have to sit. But if you transfer at the end of the year, you can. Right now,
man. Coach, that's the next. We need to get that right, there, because that'll be like getting bought out in the NBA, baby.
Exactly, mid-season acquisition.
And the reason why I asked that, because it's like that in high school in Dade County. I mean, kid can leave mid-season and be able to play.
Yeah, play some. You can't do that.
For real? I don't know.
Yes.
He can leave and then play basketball, but I don't think he can play in the same season at 2 different schools.
Bro, listen. Maybe last year, a couple years ago, kid was a backup for I maybe got it backwards. The kid was a backup at Paris City High School. Ended up transferring to Northwestern and played right away.
Wow,
you gotta
that's
too
much. Now that's
I'm telling you, that was the rule.
That's crazy.
And I'll get it for you.
Crazy rule. The kid's not happy, just bounce next door.
I know
leave mid-season.
Sport. I knew, but I didn't know like you can keep balling.
And my dude told me he's a pastor, team chaplain for the team. So he told me. So I'm gonna pull it up. So I go ahead and get it.
Goodness. Well, look, that's amazing right there, boy. I don't even know why you threw us under the bus like that, LB.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, that's how I was shocked when he told me, K-Lou.
That ain't no Florida thing. That's a Dade County thing. Yeah. So I'm
telling you, that's what happened. Transfer in the middle of the season.
Because these kids they'll be doing it in Orange County too, based upon coach ain't playing me like he said he would.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, because it's I always said this, and this was back when I was in college. When I was in college, I say, man, it's more recruiting that goes on in high school than college. You know?
Right.
That's down in Miami,
At least down here.
Yeah, because right now you don't have to. You know how before you had to, if you wanted to play for a school, either they had a magnet program or you had to use somebody else's address, right? You ain't got to do that no more down in Dade County. It's a free fall. You ain't got to prove. You get whatever school you want to go to, as long as you get transportation, you can go.
Hey, Pops done signed the LB. He say that's just a Dade County, man. We ain't doing that over here. Y'all crazy over there, LB.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Go ahead, y'all.
Coach, we gonna get right into it. The men's Final Four here, and Gonzaga pulled it off on us, Coach, and pulled it off in a dominating fashion. And the game was never close. Seemed like from tip off to the end. I think they finished off winning by 18 or something like that, Coach. Mm-hmm. But they bought a ticket to UCLA. What's your thoughts on Gonzaga's win? And then playing UCLA?
Very convincing, very dominating. They look extremely sharp, and they look well together. And this is a well-oiled machine now. Gonzaga is no joke, no joke. Now UCLA is one of the perennial powers, a blue blood in the basketball profession, but Gonzaga. That is a well-oiled machine. So they walk into a buzzsaw. They're doing UCLA.
Coach, I'll tell you this though. This is a UCLA team with really a new guy at the helm. What, been a couple years now?
Mick Cronin, this is his second year. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, but Coach, you look at his situation. He lost 2 guys early.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't even his full team. Limped into the tournament, beat. Anytime you face Tom Izzo, that's a big win. I don't care when you play him. He beats Tom Izzo. He then beats the number 2 seed in Alabama. Now he knocking on the door at a number 1. And when I think of UCLA, we got to be honest, Coach. California owns basketball, so he ain't got no scrubs on his bench.
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't know if California owns basketball.
Oh, they own it.
But I'm going to say there's a but with that. But with that being said, UCLA is a perennial power. They got 11 national championships. I can't even count the number of Final Fours. And Mick Cronin is one of the superstars in our profession. He's a heck of a coach. He came from Cincinnati, did a phenomenal job there. He's a his teams represent how he is, a hard-nosed, gritty, tough, punch you in the face type guy.
Right.
I will say this. I do like Gonzaga in that game, but they're going to be in for a fist fight. Now Gonzaga's kind of walked through this to this point. They've walked through this tournament, and they've beaten some people, but they're going to play a very physical, hard-nosed, aggressive. It's going to be a street fight. It's going to be a street fight.
Well, I think it's interesting because I'm still going to stick to my point about California being the kings of basketball right now. And because I'm a numbers guy, and I used to make this argument about the state of Florida all the time at football when we were playing MB. With guys from for some reason, Pennsylvania and for some odd reason, DC wanted to talk about it. I just say we gonna count the other team roster every week, Coach.
Yeah.
We ain't worried about ours. We gonna count the other team roster. And we used to win every week. So
the one thing I do know about football and basketball is Florida, ain't no doubt about it. If you're trying to get a football player, you go to Florida.
Right.
Especially the southern part of the state.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't
understand, Mike. The thing not to go off subject, I don't understand how the heck you guys, as kids and pee-wee players, play in that daggone hot sun with those helmets. How do y'all do that?
And that mental toughness, baby.
No, come on, FB.
That's that grit.
We start out
that's
like
that. Grit.
Hey, we
got mental toughness.
And we playing Sandlot. Before you ever put on a helmet, you in the same heat. So
exactly, that's what I'm
saying. Yeah.
So, hey, we just don't want to play when it's cold, Coach. How about that?
Don't do what? Hey, when that cold weather hit, y'all got some problems now.
Yeah, you can't just flip it in the cold.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, ain't no, hey, you got to go outside and play. Ain't no like, oh, it's too hot. No, you go outside and play. I know with me, we ain't have no cable TV. Yep. We had video games, Atari. That was it. Get your butt outside. You play. We played neighborhood ball. One neighborhood. I live in Sunny Garden. You play New Homes, or you play the Project Kid. They come and play, man. Right. We had that thing going. That's what I'm talking about.
And also, when you go outside, we didn't want to come back inside because you couldn't keep coming inside and out, or you were gonna get trapped on the inside. So when you come in for water,
you can't come back out.
Cole, we use that water hole.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's so high here, you got to let it run for a while.
Oh yeah.
Before it cool down. Because
when you drink that,
if you get that water when it first come out, you'll burn your mouth.
Oh yeah.
No, but that was just a way of life, man. That's what you did. You played football year round, man. Get that thing done,
Right.
I was just amazed. I'm from the Maryland, D.C. area, so when I came to school in Miami, I didn't really understand the culture of football. I wasn't around football. I'm coming from a basketball environment. And coming down there to South Florida, I was just amazed by the fanfare and how much they love football. But I never understood how did football become so popular and all that daggone heat? It's so I don't like going to the games and watching them, let alone play it in the heat.
Man, I'm telling you, used to it, man. That's what I'm talking about. That mental toughness. You used to it, baby.
Oh yeah.
We live outside.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing: the rite of passage, coach. They go the craziest thing ever. That'll really make you think we done lost them all down here. The rite of passage is you seeing Star in camp.
Yeah.
Like it's so hot out there, you think you started seeing little bright spots all over the place because it's so hot. And then sometimes MB remember like a mirage, it feels like a desert, like stuff you can see the heat.
See the waves in the air. See the waves in the air.
Yeah.
See the waves in the air. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and then it used to be like you was limited on your water break. You know, they had that like the Jim Brown rule. You know, Jim Brown, he proud himself, man, not drinking water or something when you play. I mean, some coaches like that, you didn't drink. Hey, you can't stop drinking all that water. You was limited on a water break. You know.
Well, hey, that's it'll be a little bit before me. They mandated it by the time I came through.
You had to have 5 water breaks of practice.
Yeah, they had it mandated by the time I came through. They said, "Listen, we kids ended up in the hospital too much during the summer. We ain't playing with y'all no more. Y'all crazy." So, coach, then we got Baylor and Houston, man, and this the matchup. This gonna be a fun matchup, right? This my kind of basketball. Let's get it and go, coach.
You talking about the goon squads on both sides of the ball. You talking about some dudes now. Both of those guys got some players. That's gonna be a fun game. That's gonna be a fun game. I mean, you got some athleticism at all 5 positions. I mean, we talked about it last time we was on this thing about how good Baylor's guards were and how aggressive and just it's not just one. They obviously they got all American in terms of their point and their 2, but those dudes that come off the bench are ultra talented as well. And you talking about a gritty, hard nosed Houston team that has similar type. It's just going to be a matchup for the ages.
Now, coach, individually, are there some pros in that game?
In which game? The Houston game?
Baylor, Houston.
I would say there's probably 2 or 3 on each side of the ball. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're talking about, and even, I mean, obviously you're talking about the Baylor Houston game, but even on the other side, the other game, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, it's 10 to 12, 13 pros on this whole Final Four. There's a lot of players out there that's going to play for a lot of money in the NBA today.
Coach, really? Because the NBA is so guard heavy. I always, honestly, coach, when it's a good guard in college, I worry about him.
Why?
Because the NBA is so guard heavy. Those guys that were shoe-ins once upon a time now spending 2-3 years in the G League.
I think you got a couple of first round. I mean, the kid at Gonzaga is definitely a first round.
Who son?
Yeah, I mean he's a lottery pick, so he won't. He's going to go to a team that's going to look to like make him a franchise player going forward. I'm not going to say that Baylor has those things.
What about Butler? The guy Baylor. Butler, I know he didn't show up. He hasn't been showing up during the tournament that much.
But those kids are potential high draft picks as well.
Right.
So I mean, there's some talented guards.
And then you got Grimes from Houston, who kind of resurrected his career because he was a potential one and done at Kansas, and then he transferred to Houston.
Yeah, but he's back on track now.
He's back on track.
Yep.
Because coach, because this is what we need to look at, and of course, you look at Trae Young right now, De'Aaron Fox, who are other young guards 2 years, 3 years or less. You know what I mean? That are actually making a mark some kind of way, getting major minutes like those guys. Remember, in the NBA. Remember, once upon a time, those first round picks, especially those lottery guys in that position, they were dropped into the lineup and they went.
I saw a funny stat. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a funny stat, but I saw a stat about the kid talking about guards and young guards in the NBA. The kid Edwards, who was #1 overall pick.
Right.
He plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Right.
He's one of 3 guys in the history of the game, LeBron, Carmelo, and himself.
Right.
That averaged 25 points. It was the month of March. He averaged 25 points in the month of March as a teenager. He's the only 3 guys in the history of the game who's done it. Him,
Oh,
LeBron, and Carmelo.
you sure it wasn't LaMelo? I think it was.
No, I think it was Edwards.
Okay.
No,
LaMelo had a similar stat.
LaMelo's hurt, right? He's hurt.
Yeah, but LaMelo had a similar stat. Something
right,
about
this happened in March. This happened in March.
Okay.
It happened in March.
Okay.
But I mean, so you talk about the young guards.
Yeah,
he's one of those dudes that's going to be really, really good. He's a rookie.
Well, you know what, Jake? What surprised me, I mean, what Kaylee's talking about is that with basketball, it seems like it's always been that way. Basketball, you know, Trae Young and those guys seem like more anomaly. What I always looked at was like you could be a lottery pick in the NBA and ride that bench. You're not even play sometimes. Yep. And you be and that's unheard of in football because if you spend a first round pick on somebody in the NFL, other than the quarterback, you count on that guy to come in and play. But basketball, you could be a lottery pick and not play. Right. And that always, I was like, man, that 12th man on that NBA roster is potent because a lottery pick, I mean, he's not guaranteed to play. That's kind of where I feel. I know it's kind of changed with Trae Young a little bit, but to me, it seemed like it always been the other way for me.
Yeah, they don't always play. I mean, the NBA is a tough league, and just because you're a lottery pick doesn't guarantee that you're going to play major minutes. But the one thing I will say for the player, if you're a lottery pick or first round pick, at some point that team and that franchise will have to give you a chance to see if you're good enough. Yeah. And obviously, if you're good enough, they're going to stick with you. They're going to re-sign you. If you're not, they're going to move you on. But when you're that high of a draft pick, they're investing in you for at least 3 years minimum. Sometimes a little longer, just depending on the contract. So you're going to get an opportunity to play at some point and showcase what you can do. But it's like recruiting. You know, picking guys in the NBA is just like recruiting. Guys make mistakes all the time. I mean, guys make mistakes all the time. And there's some kids that, you know, there's some great second-round picks that guys didn't think were very good and they end up being. I mean, it's no different than recruiting. There's guys you thought, hey, he's going to be a good role player and then being one of your better players. And there's been a guy that you think going to be great and don't do anything. So
that's definitely interesting, Coach, because I'm thinking, as you're speaking, I'm thinking about the NBA and the lottery pick system. I mean, that used to be a big deal. So NBA, I kind of disagree. Back in the day, that was a big deal. Those guys were being put right into the lineup. They were sitting vets down and inputting those guys into the lineup.
I think the biggest thing about the lottery is this, all right? And there's so much that goes on in trades and guys moving picks around. But if you're like a really bad team and you got a top pick, like, let's say, I don't know, anybody, you're a bad team.
Right.
You get number one, Minnesota, right? Yeah. You get number one pick. You're guaranteed that guy's going to play for you. Now, let's just say if you're the Boston Celtics, you make a trade 5 years ago, and now this year you get the lottery. You get like the 5th pick. Well, there's a good chance that guy won't play. He's going to a good team, but there's going to be some good vets and he won't play. So it can go both ways with how that all works out. But if you're on a bad team and you're a lottery pick, they're going to play you for good or for bad. They're going to give you a chance to kind of show what you can do. If you're on a good team and you're in a playoff team, you got a chance to win. You might not play.
Right.
I just think.
Well, look at this, Klew, right? Uh-huh. You got Edwards, right? Here's a draft from last year, and you. I'm just reading names. You tell me who playing. You know it more than me. Edwards, obviously, we talked about him. Wiseman, number 2, right? At one point, they put him on the bench, and then they brought him back, right? They said we're going to depth in him.
Still learning.
Yeah, but they put him on the bench at one point. I know he did some COVID. I think he had COVID or something earlier. Right. But at one point, they was like, put him on the bench. Now they's like, you know, we're going to go ahead and ride him out and play him. LaMelo been balling, all right? Patrick Williams for the Bulls.
Yeah, that's kid from Florida State.
No, not so much.
Yeah, Patrick Williams he went to Florida State, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But Klew saying he's not playing as much. What'd you say, Klew?
Klew, what he's asking is he playing, getting major minutes?
Yeah, right. And you say not as much, right, Klew? Right. Then you got a guy named Isaac Okoro, something like that, from Cleveland Cavaliers.
So Cleveland.
Yeah.
What's his name, MB?
Hold on, I'll tell you. I wish I had an article that tell me who's playing, because that's what I'm saying. And then hold on, I'll pull it up.
Because like Coach Morton said earlier, these are bad teams that ain't nobody paying attention to. Like Cleveland right now, it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Right now.
But Mike, let me ask you a question though.
And then
Mike,
you got that guy from the Knicks, right? Remember him? The guy was a player of the year.
From Dayton.
Yeah. I mean, he's not playing major minutes, you know?
But Mike, I got a stat for you though. The number 4 pick, kid from the Bulls, Patrick Williams.
Yes.
All right. You know the crazy part about his I got a crazy stat for him. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any numbers. I guarantee you he's playing more for the Bulls than he played for Florida State.
Wow.
More minutes. I'm being serious. He came off the bench for Florida State.
What?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Okay. I got you. Yeah.
Saying, he wasn't even a starter for Florida, but he was the 4th pick in the draft.
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, I think that's nuts. You know what I
mean? And they may, but they may do it again, Jay, right? Because that point guard they got at Florida State, if he comes out, he wasn't a starter, right?
He wasn't a starter.
He's a freshman at 6'9" guy.
And he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, exactly. And he wasn't even a starter.
And we're going to be back on the Kellercast next year at the same time saying, well, he played more for the Minnesota Timberwolves he did for Florida State last year.
Right. But Klew, I want to we need to circle back around because I'm telling you, I was like, man, that always stood out because
Patrick actually is getting good minutes. He's getting 28 a game.
Who's
okay?
That? Who?
Patrick Williams averaging 28 minutes a game. He's averaging 9 points.
He averaged
for the Bulls.
He averaged 13 minutes a game last year in college and 9 points.
Well, that's what he doing. Wow. He gave him what he told him he was gonna give him.
9 points. There you go. There you go.
But Klew, I'm a circle back around and look at that. I'm telling you, because that's the thing that I was like, man, I was always dumbfounded about that. I was like, man, these lottery picks, you can go first round in NBA and not even play, you know? I always said that.
You in basketball, you're always one guy away.
Right.
From building something special. You know what I mean? So you just need one piece.
It takes time. Like the Greek Freak, I mean, he's probably one of the best. He's the MVP, and he's one of the better players, if not the best player in the NBA. I mean, look at his first 3 years, his maturation through the league. I mean, he didn't play a whole lot his first 3 years either. He was a top 15 pick. He was a late lottery pick, top 15. But I remember him, like when he came in, he was a long kid. He didn't play a whole lot early. And then about year 3 or 4, he started picking it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Takes time.
Yeah. It's more. I look at basketball more like MB when you talk about football. The potential part. They completely draft off of potential. So if you can do
no doubt.
Yeah. You can if you pass certain tests at a high score, then they automatically say, "Oh, you can be special at some point." But
no doubt, and that's what I'm saying. But
you don't.
It's like because look at that dude. Okay, I mean, obviously, the dude, what's it, Mobley at USC, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's projected as a center, right? And some people project him to go to either number 2 or number 3 pick in the draft, right?
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Based on what team he goes with, I mean, his body still got to develop, you know, if he's going to play center, you know. So he may not play quality minutes early, or you know, it's based on the scheme. It's a lot of if, you know.
Yep.
See, but this is a new NBA too, and I almost brought that up with one of your comments, Coach, early on. When a guy like Mobley, MB, you thinking about our daddy NBA that he needs.
No, I said the system, right? Because if he go to Golden State, because he can shoot a little bit. Right, go ahead.
Right now.
Right, it depends on the system. That's what I'm saying.
Your pro body anymore. Ain't no.
It's no such thing.
No such thing. Don't exist anymore. These the rule, and I'm not saying they soft or nothing like that, but the rules are such that you getting that foul call. So he's a stretch 5. He's a stretch 4. Long as you can shoot it, they will find a place for you. You don't have to play. Wait, what big man play with their back to the basket, Coach?
Yep.
Let's start naming them. Like we could probably get them on one hand. We got more guards playing with their back to the basket than bigs.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So I think
the new NBA, the new game of analytics. That's what it's all
right.
about. Where these shots are more. It drives me crazy. So I'm like you guys. I'm old school. Throw that sucker inside. Let's pound them. Let's score around that rim. But that's not the new wave of basketball.
Well, Coach, I think they say what layup, free throw, 3-pointer.
Yep.
Say it again.
The 1, 2, 3 is layup 1, free throw 2, 3-pointer. Like those are the shots in the NBA analytically that you need to go for. Layup.
You know what?
Yeah.
No, you made me think about something. It was Denver Nuggets was playing somebody, right? And they had a chance to win the game at the end of the game.
Yep.
And they had like 4, I think it was like 4-on-1.
It was 3-on-1.
It was 3-on-1. Instead of going, they could have the dude could have ran like underneath the basket and do a layup. Everybody ran to the 3-point line.
What?
Crazy.
So the funniest part, MB,
Yo.
wasn't just that. It was that Michael Porter Jr. got mad at Jamal Murray for not throwing him the ball in the corner for the 3. And he should have been catching it for a dunk.
Right. Exactly.
So he was yelling at him after the game, walking towards him like, look, man, I was open. And so Jamal Murray sent a picture and put on he tweeted out that same situation that you just named. He showed where it was him with the ball.
Right.
The other guy that I'm not familiar with, I don't even know who that is because I don't think he played very much last year. And then Michael Porter Jr. was in the corner, but they were all kind of to the right side of the basket. And he said, you see a clear path to the basket, and he said, and you asking me why I ain't passing. This why. You know what I'm saying? Like Jamal, are you kidding me, dude? You should be dunking right now. We should be going into overtime.
Exactly. I'm trying to get something where they redraft. Go ahead. I'm gonna pull a 2018 draft.
Then, because of this mentality, and it obviously stretches to the high school, because the games I watched this year, it's more threes than layups being attempted. So, how do you guys change the culture when they come in to your program? Like, how do you deprogram?
It's like a brain transplant. It's impossible. I mean, you know what the problem is? These kids watch too much TV. And the college game is definitely played totally different than the NBA game. And like you said, the analytics of the NBA game is layup, free throws, 3-pointers, right? That's not how the college game is played. But these kids watch that on TV, and they're all trying to get to the NBA. So that's what they're focused on. This is how we got to play. No, we don't really have to play that.
Yep.
So it's a pull and tug all the time because this is what they're seeing on TV. This is what they are inspiring to do. They all want to be pros and play in the NBA, play in that league. But like I said, the games are different. The way the game is spaced is different. The way they use pick and rolls is different. Their defensive schemes are different. It's just a different game in terms of how they approach it. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along, Coach. This women's Final Four get done, and our girl Miss Staley back in the building, man. And she your cousin because y'all Gamecock together.
Hey, Mike, MB, I got a crazy story about her. And Mike, you'll laugh at this.
I used to have a crush on Dawn Staley, man. That was my girl. Go ahead.
Mike crazy. Hey, Don. Hey, Mike, we were the girls. This one was back in Miami. The girls team had a tournament, and she played at Virginia, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And Virginia was in the tournament, and we just got done with practice. And I went to the locker room to get some stuff, some ice on my knee, whatever. And she was in there getting taped. And so I'm on one table, she's on the other table, and we got to talking. She's little now,
right?
She's talking all this trash. I had no idea how good she was. And she was Olympian and all stuff, so she's talking.
Right.
I went to go. So I've never been to a girls' game at this point. I went to go watch her play. I was like, God dang, this girl's good. I mean, I saw her live in person in college. Like, whoa. She's a real. Now, obviously, she just ended up in the Olympiad and all that great stuff, and being one of the best players ever played in the girls' game. But she's a heck of a coach. Heck of a coach.
Yeah, I had a similar story, Coach, when they put that team together. You know how they send them on a little playing tour?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they ended up coming to Duke and playing there. So I got a chance to see her go off.
Oh man, she's the real deal.
Yeah.
And she can play, man. She can really play.
Well, she made a comment, man. Her and the Arizona coaches are the only two black women in the Final Four, and she says that
ever make the Final Four.
Huh?
I say to ever make the women's Final Four.
Right.
Correct. And so and she spoke out boldly and said, you know, I'm glad that she made it. I'm glad we're both here in this point at this moment, because there's the black female coaches aren't getting the opportunity to get head jobs. And she said, you know, because they don't see this. And now she basically saying to me, you see it, it's front and center for everybody. Do something about it to change it. That's me adding living, though. That's what I added on the back end. She didn't say that, I did.
Well, hey, Klew, before he answered that, she said the same thing because in the SEC, I was just reading this earlier today. SEC championship, it was two black coaches as well, her and the coach from Georgia, and she's consistent. She's promoting it like Don King, you know. But go ahead, Jake.
No, it's always. I mean, like I said, watching her teams play, watching the South Carolina Gamecocks play. I mean, it's just. It reminds me of watching her play. They just. She's a Philadelphia girl. She's gritty. They gritty. They got that toughness. I mean, she stands for the right things. I mean, she's just an amazing woman. Amazing woman.
Of course, Gino back in the building, man, and he got a new girl killing, man. Miss Beckers doing her thing. Freshman coach, National Player of the Year.
Gino don't mess around, brother.
In my Master P voice, how you do that, dear?
I can tell you right now, Gino don't mess. He's getting the best of the best of the best.
Yeah,
like he ain't messing around.
Well, Gino fell off though, Coach, for a few years. He ain't won it since 2016. That's like 20 years in Gino terms.
Yeah, that's like so basically you got now is a pit bull you ain't fed for 5 days. So go
let me tell you, and let me tell you what's scary about this program. MB, not one senior.
Right. I think he got that, and then she just won AP Player of the Year.
She's a freshman, and not one senior on the team, and this year don't count.
So she's gonna be a freshman again next year. That's scary.
Gino said, I'm coming back with a vengeance on y'all.
Yeah, you're backed him into a corner. He said, hey, I ain't going for this too much longer.
Oh my goodness. So
but hey, Jake, let me hold on a second. Jake, I want to get your opinion about that, what Klew was bringing up about Dawn, as far as her comment is about lack of black coaches, as far as black women too, just period. I know the SEC is leading the charge for women. They like 14 SEC school. They actually got 50% of black coaches, you know, women in the SEC. But when you look at the other conferences, the Big 12 got 0. I mean, it's the number are alarming. You know, what's your thoughts on that? I know, and that's just women. When you factor in the men, and majority of the players, I think the percentage of them is like they look like us. You know, they black on the court, majority of it, but the coaching doesn't like that. What's your thoughts on that?
It's really discouraging at times when, as black coaches, when you're trying to get to that pinnacle to be a head coach. I'm not really familiar with the stats and the numbers on the women's side. You know, the percentages in terms of black coaches.
I'll give it to you right here. Let me give you this too, Jake. I told you 7 in the SEC. There are 3 black female head coaches in the 15 teams of the SEC, 0 in the Big 12, 1 out of 14 in the Big 10, and 2 out of 12 in the Pac-12.
That's
and then and then there's another stat where they break it down. Let me give you this: of the Big 12, 27% of the players are white, and 100% of the coaches are white. Big Ten, 33% of the players are white, 93% of white head coaches. ACC is 22% of the players white, but 75% of white head coaches. And Pac-12 is 23 white percentage of white players and 80% coaches. You know,
right.
and when you look at like that,
those are discouraging stats and numbers. I mean, in terms of black representation, black female representation to be head coaches. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of quality. I know a bunch of female coaches, I mean, black female coaches, white. I mean, I know a lot of female coaches that are in that industry, and those are really, really alarming numbers. I mean, I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed that it was just that lopsided in terms of the lack of minority, representation as head coaches on the women's side.
Well, I definitely, this is a problem going around the country that's been highlighted after a trial that's going on right now, the George Floyd trial, of course, and so not just coaches. Obviously, we're on this side of the ball, but CEOs, management, the whole nine is being reevaluated. I think we lost Coach. Coach, you still on?
Yes, one second.
Oh, okay. So here's my question. We lost Roy Williams today, and not lost him like that, but we lost him as a coach. He retired on yesterday. And I thought it was April Fool's, MB. I really did. I thought it was April
Did you?
I downplayed him. Of course, Pac Jam texts me. I ain't even pay attention to it. And I say, if I log on this morning and it's still a story, then it's real. So I ain't even say nothing about it yesterday. But it popped up again this morning. And Coach, is it Steve Robinson's job to lose? I'm throwing that out there. This is an easy call for me. Is this Steve Robinson's job to lose?
I will say this. I think Steve Robinson has 0% chance of getting a job.
Got to be more careful. Well,
Who's Steve Robinson? Help me out.
Steve Robinson is Roy Williams' longtime assistant. He used to be the head coach of Florida State. He's
okay.
Long-time assistant. He was at Kansas with him. He's at North Carolina, obviously.
Okay.
He's the elder black assistant on that staff. I do think that Hubert Davis.
That's what I was about to say. What about Hubert Davis?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I think Carolina is going to promote, even though Steve Robinson should be within. He's been there for 20 years as assistant.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. He's been there. Well,
part of the family. There's no doubt. But I think Hubert is the upping. I think Hubert was. I'll got the low battery. I won't get that much time. But Hubert is the one that was bred and trained, and I think that's one of the things why Roy brought him back, to try to help him and train him to be the next head coach and groom him to be the next head coach at North Carolina. However, I heard some stuff that I think. I'm not going to say I don't know anything about North Carolina, but I heard some stuff. They might go outside of that North Carolina family to make the hire.
And that would be Steve Robinson, Coach. And let me make his fight for him, because MB will tell you I do that now.
Okay.
I'm gonna make his fight for him.
Okay.
He don't do. If he bring it up, he don't do the research.
Dean Smith, right? No, this actually was off the top of the head, MB. Dean Smith, remember?
Mm-hmm.
When he left,
he had assistant got the job.
Who got the job?
His Guthridge, his assistant.
There you go. What connection Guthrie had to the school?
He was just his assistant. That's the only connection.
Thank you. They gave him his opportunity because he was a long time guy sitting on the bench.
Yeah, which is Steve Robinson.
He won. He ended up either going to a championship, or I think he won one.
Right. And the thing about Steve Robinson, he's been a head coach before.
Wait, Guthrie. So then let's not stop. Now, no, he won one because he won one with Vince and Jameson.
I think Guthrie went to like two back-to-back Final Fours. He was actually he was the most winningest coach. He was the fastest, I guess in the first 4 years or 3 years out of anybody at North Carolina. He won the most games out of any coach.
He caught he caught lightning in the bottle, MB, because Vince called in Antoine Jameson came in as freshman Dean Smith's last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gave him them. So that's who he got. He didn't get no scrubs, MB.
Right.
He got the National Player of the Year and Vince Carter.
Right. No, he walked into a powerhouse team.
Okay, but this is my argument. That didn't last long because they never wanted him to get the job anyway. They always wanted a Carolina guy. So I will admit.
Right, that's what I was about to ask. Why he got fired?
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay. And they went right to Michael Jordan roommate.
What's his name? Buzz Peterson.
See, right after. CMB, I told you I wasn't really taking this. Ain't no research. This off the dome. I just remember because I was in college during this time. So I just remember this going through. So
right.
And he didn't last a hot second.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. But you talked. It was Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty. Well,
Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty was the coach. Matt Doherty.
Sorry. Whoever, and he was Mike roommate, right?
Play with Mike. Yep.
It is. That was and then he got fired, but he recruited Raymond Felton.
All the players. All the players.
He recruited another powerhouse, MB.
Yep.
And that's what Roy came in and came right in and won with that crew.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is because of the Bill Guthrie hire, they owe Steve and MB. I'm gonna get you some arsenal for Steve, so I can get you on my team. Hall of Fame assistant coach already.
Absolutely. Look, I think he's deserving of the job. I really do. However, I don't think he's gonna get the job. I mean, maybe.
Well, here's the key that I was trying to read. Roy Williams, but they didn't say he recommended who should replace him. But I'm trying to find out if he said who.
You already know who that is. That's Steve, baby.
I hope so.
I think it's Hubert Davis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope so.
I don't. No one knows. I mean, it's all speculation who he recommended. But
that's what I was trying to find out if they said who he told.
I'll tell you another guy he might recommend. It's the boy over at Vanderbilt who played at Duke. We played Carolina. He played Carolina.
We ain't going there. We will never coach there.
Where that?
Who?
No, I meant
this guy gonna go get a Carolina job.
No, I didn't mean to say Duke.
Oh, we gonna stop. We gonna stop somewhere, and it's gonna be at that job.
No. I didn't mean to say Duke. I said he's another Carolina guy. He's the head coach of Vanderbilt. The head coach of Vanderbilt.
Stackhouse.
Stackhouse. He played there. He played there as well.
Yeah, Stackhouse.
So he could be a guy in the mix as well. Stackhouse.
Yeah, Stackhouse.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, no one knows.
Yeah, I heard his name was mentioned, but he had 2 losing seasons. But I heard his name was mentioned too. Like Stephen A. Smith mentioned his name as a potential replacement. He wasn't on the first year. Stackhouse at Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
and he brought up about he had 2 losing seasons, but that it's Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Well, you can't go to no job like that after 2 losing seasons, though. It just don't even matter. MB, I'm gonna throw another name out there, Coach Moore. What you think about this? Pac Jam, MB said Kenny Smith.
No chance. I don't think he wants to do it.
Well, Kenny Smith been hitting. He want to get back involved from a general manager type standpoint and or coach.
Wow.
Hey, Lou, let me throw out these. I'm reading this article. Let me. This article is 10 names because you mentioned Kenny Smith. And they mentioned his name in this article.
Okay.
Here's the 10 people right here. Hubert Davis.
Yep.
Wes Miller, who's the head coach of North Carolina Greensboro.
Yep.
Right. Billy Donovan, Chicago Bulls head coach.
He's not part of the family.
How does he have he has no connection?
No.
Okay.
He played at Providence. He played for Rick Pitino.
Well, I'm thinking. Okay, there you go. Because I'm thinking, did he even sit on Roy Williams' bench?
No, never.
Only thing because he won championships at Florida.
Championships at Florida.
Yep.
He's an NBA coach. He's the head coach of the Bulls right now.
Right.
John Beeline. Am I saying his name right?
John Beeline, network. He's the coach of Michigan. He left and went to the Key.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep. And he
don't have any track records there. Porter Moser, Loyola coach.
Illinois. That's the guy that went to the Final Four with Illinois.
That's it. Right.
That's okay. Sister Jean.
All right. Jerry Stackhouse. We got his name at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
The only thing, his past 2 seasons, 20 and 37.
Yep. I don't think that's going to matter, but yep.
Yep. Kenny Smith.
No shot.
They mentioned his name. And this name I heard earlier. This name I heard earlier, and Lavelle Moulton,
No
North
shot.
Carolina Central.
No shot.
North Carolina said
Hey,
they were saying,
get HBCU and
Hey,
shot,
yep,
listen, Lavelle's my man now. That's my man.
Dale Shetland, let's go, LB.
yeah, yeah.
Let's go.
Now let me
He
say
got a
let me
first
say
record.
let me say this now. Let me say this about Lavelle. Lavelle is very tight with Roy Williams, and Lavelle has actually talked to Roy about he feels he's the head coach of North Carolina Central. He's done one of the best jobs in the country over the last 5 or 6 years at an HBCU. And we talking about the the inequality in women's basketball and minority representation. I mean he's definitely a guy that should have had more opportunities to do things at some different universities, some PWI universities. But that would be a shocker of all shockers. He's from Raleigh. He's born and raised, and
Yep.
I mean, so that would be phenomenal if he could pull it off. Now he's a heck of a coach, and he does know Roy Williams very well. But that's interesting. He's on that list. Very interesting.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And then what's his name mentioned too? I was like doing the research for it. Stephen A. Smith mentioned his name as well.
I'm gonna call Lavelle. Say, Lavelle, you going to North Carolina? Come on.
Yeah. All right. Here's this name. I don't think Chris Holtman, Ohio State head coach.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think after that early exit, and then Gerard Hayes, I guess, Stanford coach.
Yeah, he was Roy Williams' long time. He played at Kansas for Roy Williams, and he was a long time assistant at Carolina. He's the head coach. Right. You know what? I forgot all about him. I forgot all about him.
Those are the top 10 they mentioned.
Huh?
I say those are the top 10 names they mentioned.
I actually forgot all about Haas from Stanford. He could be a player.
I'm gonna be out there protesting. They don't get a thing to Steve, man.
I think it's gonna be Hubert Davis over Steve.
They'll get this thing to Steve, man. I got a problem with it. Y'all gave it to Bill. Y'all Bill.
Let me ask this question. What if Hubert Davis gets it?
I'm still protesting, man.
Hubert Davis, he played there. I mean, he's a minority coach.
You passing over a Hall of Fame assistant coach with 2 stints as a head coach that sat under Roy for almost 20 years.
The only Klew, though, you know what? This article is done by Sporting News. They ain't even mention his name.
I don't think he's gonna get mentioned for the job.
They ain't even mention his name in this article.
I don't care what they said. I'm telling you what I'm saying.
I know.
Guys, here's it's gonna be a Carolina. The ones you can't really rule out is the boy from Greensboro. He was a walk on at Carolina, but he played there. He's really successful. I forgot all about Garrett Haas at Stanford. I forgot all about him.
Yep.
But he could be definitely a name. But Buzz Peterson could be a name as well. He's a guy that was a long-time coach, played at Carolina. He played with Jordan. He worked for Jordan in Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets. He was a head coach of Tennessee and Auburn, some other schools. I mean, he's a guy that could potentially, jump back in there and get that job. He has a lot of experience as a head coach in college basketball.
And then Klew, you gotta look at this as well, which we already always know, right? What moves the needle, right? As far as, and then the boosters, the people behind the scene, and then with Duke, the neighboring school,
what moves the needle in a huge hire, at least around the coaching world, and at least get a buzz is Kenny Smith. Coming from
that's what I'm saying. Well, and then especially with Juwan Howard having the success at Michigan, you know what I'm saying?
But Mike, the difference between Juwan, he's never coached in college, but he's coached for.
Right. No, I understand. And Kenny Smith, he haven't officially coached. He other than I guess AAUs and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying like it could be Kenny Smith. I'm saying, but the hire in reference to what Klew said about the coach who's most deserving. I'm saying the playing devil advocate, does that guy move the needle?
The most deserving coach for the job is the one Klew is advocating for.
That's what I'm saying. He could be the most deserving, but it's a lot that goes in that decision, and they may be looking for somebody not only deserving but also move the needle as well. A big hire,
Exactly.
The other guy that I'm thinking about is the one that we kind of believe has no chance, and that's Lavelle at North Carolina Central. He would be huge. But I think of Kenny Smith being the most, prepared as far as like getting that jolt of energy that they actually need. You can say that Carolina needs a huge jolt of energy. It's because his brother has the long time connection in the AAU program. So he kind of has a built-in recruiting base. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
The thing about Carolina
is mecca of basketball. So I'm sure he would bring his brother in some, some capacity to help put that jolt back into Carolina recruiting. And I think, with him having the television, these kids already knowing his name, seeing his face late night with NBA, coach just told us early on they watch too much TV, so they know Kenny Smith's name. Again, I ain't saying he should get the job. I'm not advocating coach, but if you saying a big splash, I'm saying that's Kenny Smith.
Yeah, no, yeah, that would be a splash. But you're right, Juwan Howard's doing it, so I'm not going to say Kenny Smith couldn't do it. Juwan Howard, huh?
No, I agree with you. But Juwan, like the point you made, he was on the bench of Miami Heat. Yeah,
it's just like Patrick Ewing. I mean, those guys came back, but they were coaching in the NBA for a lot of years. Where Kenny Smith has never coached, and to take a job of that magnitude and you never coach, I would be a little scared to hire Kenny Smith. I know Kenny Smith will do a phenomenal job of bringing back energy and bringing back all the stuff that you're saying that they're missing right now with Carolina. But you got a lot of other good coaches on that list that you can pull from.
Right.
Guys that have coached already.
I mean, the what you call the MB, the blueprint's been made with Steve Nash. Put somebody around.
Yeah. But
hire him for the face and put somebody around it.
But the different part between college and the NBA is the NBA, you can go out and just buy the players and put the team together through free agency. But college, you got to actually recruit them.
And that's coach. That's why I'm giving him the edge. Because exactly. That's why I'm giving him the edge, because I think name recognition from him, and then the actual grit and grind of his brother. You see what I mean? Like,
I tell you what, Caleb, you might be on to something. We have Mike. When are they supposed to make a decision on that job? This weekend?
I don't know. They don't say anything. I'm reading this one article based on the betting. They bet on anything, and they saying Hubert Davis is the favorite. Just rumors that he came to North Carolina just to be groomed as the head coach.
That's what I think,
and that makes sense.
Because he was on ESPN, right? Or he was doing something, right?
He was on ESPN, doing a really good job with college basketball.
Yeah.
But he's boring, and I don't think he's gonna be able to recruit.
Well, but that's the thing, then, Klew, is to put some recruiters around him. You know what I'm saying? It's the flip side of it. It's the opposite of it.
Okay.
Yep. Hey guys, I got 2%, bro. I'm almost done.
Okay. Okay. We done too. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Appreciate you, man, Jake.
No, we had a great time once again. Please, I enjoyed the invites, guys. We had some fun.
Hey, before you go, give me your predictions again. Who you got, baby? Men Final Four.
I'm gonna go with Gonzaga, and the next one is
Baylor, coach. Don't leave him alone.
Yeah, it gotta be Gonzaga, Baylor.
Keep riding with him.
I'm pulling for Houston, but I think Gonzaga, Baylor, and then at that point, it's gonna toss the coin up to see what happens.
Yeah,
right,
no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, appreciate you, man. All right, take care. Have a good one now.
Right, bye.
Well, my pick, MB, is Baylor.
Who's your pick, buddy? Baylor,
UCLA. I'm going with Baylor, the host the trophy.
Whoa, hold on. You sticking to your guns with Gonzaga, huh? You doubling down?
That's right.
You doubling it because you said they don't make the Final Four, and then now you doubling down.
I don't believe.
Yeah, and now you saying they got to make the champ. You doubling down on it now, huh?
What
oh my God!
What Vegas saying, LB? You said you've been looking at Vegas. What Vegas saying?
About who's going to win the game?
Right.
Oh no, the picks are obviously Gonzaga double digit, and then they going Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Past that.
Huh?
They didn't go past that.
I didn't see it. I think everybody predicting Gonzaga to win, but what they were saying, this is the matchup they've been saying all season long. They were supposed to meet in November, December, but then the whole COVID thing 2 hours before the game. When I'm saying they were supposed to be talking about Baylor and Gonzaga, the game was canceled because of COVID,
Okay.
So but everybody been projecting this since they've been talking about this game potential matchup since November. Gonzaga versus Baylor, with Baylor being the team that wins. Gonzaga being the team that wins,
Well, I want them out of there.
Okay. and then what's your pick? Do you have any picks for the women?
UConn, man.
UConn, yeah, UConn beat they're favored to beat Arizona. And then
UConn, South Carolina, I like UConn over South Carolina, and this is a big pick because South Carolina has gotten the best of them probably the last 3 out of the last five matchups, something like that. MB.
But you know what's surprising though, Klew, is that South Carolina is the underdogs versus Stanford.
Yeah,
they're picked to lose against Stanford. I mean, it's
I ain't bet against Dawn, man.
Me neither.
Except for when she faced Gino. Because MB, I think a new dynasty done started, man. Gino run the table for 3-4 years, man. You know how you do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And having a young team, player of the year is a freshman. 19 MB, true freshman.
And the thing he doing it with it, Klew, I was looking at it. He only playing like 6 people. He's not playing a deep rotation while Stanford is kind of playing. Stanford seemed like Golden State Warrior. I mean, they got strength in numbers. They shooting the three. They doing all that. But Connecticut, man, they 6. They only the last game versus Baylor, they only played 6 people.
MB, if we playing spade and you got 6 books, what you gonna tell me cross that table? you ain't finna be talking about you got 8, are you? I hope not. Me and you gonna be fighting after the game.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. It's getting it done, man.
Hey, ain't no need in me pretending like I got 7.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. That's a good point.
Hey, MB, you know what Gino did after training camp, right? He went to the 6 girls, and he had a meeting separately with the 6 girls and the rest of the team, and he said, "Hey, I got 3 words for y'all. Get in shape." He walked out it.
Exactly. Drop the mic. Man.
Hey, MB, and they either got the point then, or they definitely get it now.
Well, they get it right now because the game, they playing, the game come on tonight, the women's championship. South Carolina and Stanford are first,
Right. Well, let's strap up, baby. Let's go, Don.
Yeah, no doubt. Get it done.
Strap, baby, let's go.
Because it's a classical matchup. Because that's like Jake was right, man. That's the same thing I was thinking. I mean, because I used to watch Don say this Carolina team, they play like they coach. They head coach. They got her personality, man, and they get it done, man. They defense, man, they get it done. They get it done. They get it done. It's
like that you feel like a go out there and throw hands for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's only certain coaches. You obviously probably had the greatest one of all times in Buddy. I would have loved to see how it felt to play with Buddy. But I know y'all went out there and say, man, I do anything. I get that 15. Buddy'll swing on the ref. You know what I'm saying? You talk to us, MB, how much did that free you as a player knowing he behind you?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. We was playing Pittsburgh during the regular season. It was a big game. Our record, Pittsburgh record, 2 top teams in our division, right? And before the game, Buddy's like, look, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit these jokers. That big tight end they got, Eric Green. hey, tackle him low, let him be worried about his career, then finishing the game. And he said this.
Around here, MB.
Hey, huh?
Big
You
Eric
said what?
around here. I'm gonna tell him on.
Oh, that's not what he said. Then he said this. He said, and then if they want to fight, we got somebody that's gonna pay the fines. He pointed at Wilbur Marshall. He will pay the fines. And you're like, what? Let's go, you know? I mean, my man, that's how it was, man. And I was fortunate enough, you know, I played for him a year, but Jimmy Johnson the same way, man. You know? He's like, man, you go out there and play ball. Let me deal with because at the time, people, you know, the press and the president trying to get his. He's like, hey, y'all go play ball. Let me worry about the president. Let me worry about this. You know what I'm saying? It just you go out there and just ball out, man. You get to play free, man. There's no handcuffs on, no like how to do this, man. But you meant to play a ball like you grew up playing as a kid. We talked about playing ball in Florida. You know, man, shoot, you playing ball in Florida, you talking noise, anything you do, man. You playing hot shots talking noise, you know what I'm saying? You playing marbles talking noise, you know? I mean, that's just part of it. You just having fun, man, doing what you do, you know?
Wow.
But yeah, but it's freeing though when you have somebody like that, you know, to be like that, you know, got your back, that, you know, you ain't got to worry, get distracted by all that fluffy stuff, that all the stuff really don't matter. But you got somebody, man, that, hey, man, just go play ball, you know, and you ain't got to worry about all that other stuff, you know.
Well, you got me excited. I'm definitely going with her for this game, knowing that's the kind of attitude behind them girls, they'll be.
Yeah, that Dawn Staley, I like that. That's that. I told you, I used to have a crush on her.
Hey, you done said it twice, Shelly. Every time he said it, we heard him the first time. Hey, we heard you the first time.
I was saying it for the listeners that came on later on.
Okay. Well, we appreciate
you missed it early.
Pulling up, hollering at us because you know us from Sideline to Baseline with MB and Klew. We are gone.
Peace.